What celebrity's death did not take you by surprise? Aaron Carter. Sadly, I'd seen a show of his about 5 years prior to his death. And it was clear even then he needed major help. He seemed only half conscious. Kept yelling random proclamations at the show. Tried to play the keyboard tattoo on his arm like it was a real piano, and more. Then I saw an interview he gave about 3 years after that and somehow, he was much worse. It was clear this guy needed a major intervention if his life was going to get on track and continue. A real shame. Elvis. In the year before his death he went from looking rough to looking like death. Can I also do the reverse and say I am surprised Ozzy is still with us? What is this dude's secret? Sometimes I feel he has spent his whole career slowly pickling himself and now he's at the point he can no longer spoil.
Amy Winehouse.
I'm just surprised Charlie Sheen is alive and kicking it. Betty White. Ryan Dunn. I'm honestly shocked that other Jackass stars have survived this long. Tom Petty. Saw him at a music festival and while he was performing I leaned over to my wife and said, "He looks like he could die at any moment." A couple months later he died. Scott Weiland. Anna Nicole Smith. At that time, Kurt Cobain. And later, Amy Winehouse. These two seemed like train wrecks and they were not a matter of if, but of when. Quite sad for them. I don't know how Keith Richards is alive today. John Candy and Chris Farley. Edit, and Ralphie May, thank you. I was shocked and saddened by Sinead O'Connor. But also not surprised as I knew she had always struggled with her mental health and I knew from recent reports around the time of her death, she was in a pretty bad spot. Prince also sadly didn't surprise me. While I'm a huge Prince fan and I wanted to see him perform someday, I knew that when he OD'd the first time there's always a high chance it will happen again in a short time. Knowing he was a very private man who didn't want people around a lot of times, I was not surprised when I heard there was a death at his house. I frankly knew immediately and I just wish his people stayed with him especially since he was going to get help with some addictions he had which led to the OD. Whitney Houston sadly. Patrick Swayze and Alex Trebek. Given the abysmal statistic that 95% of pancreatic cancer patients are dead within 5 years of diagnosis, there's been a few where my whole reaction was, they were still alive. Michael Jackson dude had been literally falling apart for years. All of the really young rappers whose lives are surrounded by any one of the following: mental health issues, drugs or problems with addiction, alcohol, fast lives, guns and criminal activities of all kinds. From Tupac to Mac Miller. None of those deaths were much a surprise. Tragic? Yes. Shocking? No. Lemmy Kilmister. Dude's blood was so toxic that he could kill someone via blood transplant. Went from whiskey to vodka because of health issues. Probably would have killed him if he went cold turkey. But still one hell of a musician.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.